Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and many of you know that I went to a flea market. I was a vendor at one in Long Island the other day. I did a short in terms of showing you how some of those flea market sales are arranged, the types of equipment that you can find, and a little bit about what each vendor was selling, and the opportunities for finding some good buys as a result. So today I want to show you a few reels that I wound up acquiring at the show, and a little bit of a story, but I think in total maybe just over $100 and a little bit of horse trading. Horse trading being swapping a reel repair for another reel or the like, or one good reel for two broken reels or something like that. So it's kind of a push. But the day started with me just kind of swapping out a reel, and what I acquired was a Mitchell. It's the Mitchell 386. It's a surf casting reel. It's a beautiful reel in nice condition, and we kind of swapped a reel for the services provided. I had repaired a pen, and I had repaired another reel for them. An ambassador reel for them, and we said, well, in lieu of service costs, why don't we just swap a reel? This was on his table, and we got two repaired reels, and I've got a 386 Mitchell, which I look forward to servicing. I'm pretty sure I've done a video on this one, so I won't be doing a video there, but I'll let you know more. And before the show opened, it's not unusual for vendors to kind of go around, look at everybody's table, kind of size up the competition, and also to buy and sell some things if there's a particular reel that's of interest to somebody. And this one showed up. This is a Daiwa Sea Line. I didn't pay much for this, but this reel is in beautiful condition. The problem is that as you crank this thing, it's very erratic. Well, it didn't take me long to figure out that we have a problem with this line guide. You can see how it's kind of wobbling around, and that it'll just go for a while, and then you'll see that it'll just get canted off to the side again. And this one was actually in a parts bin because the fellow couldn't figure out what to do with that reel, and I'm not even sure if there's a part available for this. We're gonna have to find out. That line guide and Paul probably need to be redone if they're available. If they are, this is going to be a nice bonus. This is the Sea Line Level Line 50H. It's the follow-on to the older 50H. Still nicely made with a very high gear ratio, 6.1 to 1. For a level line saltwater reel, that is a very high ratio reel. So I will. I'm going to report back if I can find this line guide. Then we're going to do a repair on that one, and we'll do the video behind that. Well, then the show started, and I was fortunate enough to have an individual stop by who had a bag of reels, a big bag of reels. And he said, I no longer use these. They've been around a long time, just looking for somebody who can kind of service them and put them out to use. Well, isn't that the definition of Second Chance Tackle? So we negotiated a bargain price, quite honestly, and I picked up quite a few reels, which I'll show you in just a moment. Before I go any further, I want to take a moment to thank our first responders and essential personnel and everybody involved in keeping us safe during the pandemic. I guess over the weekend news broke of yet another variant, and I guess we're not through this one yet. So to all of our uniformed services, everybody in the medical fields, everybody in the supply chains, thank you for everything that it is you're doing to keep us safe. So here's the first one out of the block. It's actually got the box and everything. It's a True Temper Ocean City 112 deep sea and lake trolling reel. This one is in beautiful condition, and it works nicely, spins easily, as they do. You have a little bit of a click that I believe is this clicker's just not resetting there, but we'll go ahead and figure that one out. But for the most part, I think that's not a big deal. I'll probably take it apart just because of that. Well, I'm going to take it apart anyway, but maybe I'll do a video on it. We'll kind of give you the idea of why that thing is kind of knocking the way it is. Doesn't seem to impair performance. So what is the role of True Temper Ocean City as opposed to just plain Ocean City? Well, True Temper acquired Ocean City in the late 1950s. I believe it was 57 or 58. True Temper went on to rebrand it first as Ocean City, and then they just went straight to a True Temper brand. And they got out of the reel business about the 1970s. Got a bag here. And this is kind of interesting. 2 whetstones. Now, why in the world 2 whetstones are in there with a bunch of fishing reels? I don't know. Hook sharpeners probably, but I can always use these. One of my side hobbies is woodwork, and these will always do nice to keep the chisels nice and sharp. So 2 of those. Then we had another one. I believe this is also the True Temper as opposed to the straight Ocean City, and this is actually the 112. The one I was showing you is a 113. 2 beautiful reels, and for the price, I couldn't say no, even though they're not as in demand as the others are. That one doesn't need any service either. So he told me, that the fellow that was selling them told me, I just don't use them anymore. And this is another one. This is another. This is the Bay City 112, and not much difference between the one and the other than handle knob size and the handle that has the wrench attached to it, as opposed to the larger football type of a handle that has the screw on. Same wrench works in both. We had a little Penn 77. This is the direct drive pen. It's been around forever. I love the simplicity of this reel. And look at this. This is 70 or 80 years later. This thing is still just cranking away. A little squeaky, needs some oil and grease, but we'll be fine with that. And then they followed that up with another direct drive. This is the Penn 79 reel. Again, the difference between the Penn 79 and 77, other than the size of the reel, is that this one has a free spool release. This one does not. So when you release your spool, you've got what's called the knuckle buster. That handle will turn backwards. On the one here, you have a stop, so that when you go to release, your handle is stationary. But you can still turn the handle backwards and forwards when you are in crank mode, and that's so that you can fight a fish. There's no drag on this, so you are the human drag, and that's why it goes this way. But to save your knuckles, well, I put the free spool release in there so that the handle doesn't turn backwards as you're casting. Well, we got the oldest one in here as well. This I looked at this one, and I didn't see a name. Now, the fellow said it was a Montague, and that's quite possible. It has the big old wooden knob on it. I'm not sure if this is original to the reel. It may be. There's no indication on here at all other than it's got a 250 yard capacity. It has that old leather thumb brake, as this is the way you would control the drag as well. It's a direct drive, just like you saw on the Penn reels, and I believe these are rubber side plates. They sure seem that way. And there's a little bit of breakage on that trim ring there. You might snag your finger holding it, so you just have to watch it. Again, squeaky reel gets the oil. We're going to take this one apart. We don't know whose it is. We're certainly going to take it apart and try. And then the last one in that series that I purchased is the Penn 70. I think this is the 78. This one is between the two. So you saw the 79 before. The 78 is just a little bit smaller. So we had the 77, 78, and 79. They're all direct drive reels from Penn, and small, medium, large in that series. The next one up would be the 80 and the 85. Okay, so done. Show gets done, gets over, and people start packing. Well, that's kind of a good time if you're a buyer to go around, scout out what's around, and see if you can't find some bargains. So I did. I found an Ambassador 6000C black side-plated, made in Sweden, and it seems to be a little tight, right? So I've been in enough of these Ambassador reels to know that if it's cranking easily and the line guide's turning, but it's just tight, that's usually a sign of grease and oils that are needed. I can't wait to get underneath this thing, to clean it up. It's got bright, shiny chrome throughout, except for this back bar. And I personally fish with these reels. I enjoy them, and I can't wait to put that one on a rod and see how it casts. Well, we went from that to a bargain. It's a bargain because it's not a Swedish-made Ambassador. It's one of the Chinese-made Ambassadors. This is the later version. It's the Abu Garcia Ambassador. It's the 6500S. I'm not a fan of these reels. I think I probably have expressed my communication on that one well too many times. So the first problem, this is turning, it's difficult to turn, right? And I had a conversation with the fellow, and I said, look, it's a Chinese-made one. There's not a lot of demand. You're missing a screw, and it's really hard to turn. And he agreed, and we got a bargain price out of the deal. Well, why is it hard to turn? The spool's overloaded with capacity. So you should never line a reel up over the rim. You can see on this one that it's properly lined up. You've got about a 1/4 of an inch. You can go a little bit more, leave maybe a 1/16 of an inch, but don't exceed the rim of that spool. Why? Well, if you look underneath here, it may be hard to see on the camera, but underneath here, that line is running right to the line guide. And that's what's slowing the reel down. It's nothing mechanical other than the line is rubbing against the inside of the bar. And well, it's just not going to cast very nicely like that. It's going to be difficult to roll. And this one's going to be easy. It's a nice clean reel. We'll strip off some of the line. We'll replace the screw, and we'll give that reel a second chance. Well, the last one was the best. Not planned that way, it just was. But as the fellows were throwing things in the door, there was a Luxor out there. It's the 3L. It's not in the best of condition. You'll see marked $30, and I didn't pay $30. Very tight, right? Very tight. What does that mean? Well, to the folks that have watched this long enough, you know, it's no doubt just very dried grease and lack of oil and lubrication. So anytime you can find one for that price, well, you know what? And it wasn't even that price. You know what to do. Go grab a hold of it. If nothing else, it makes a great tuition reel. And although the cosmetics are not good, it's certainly going to be a fine example of a French-made reel from back in the day. So that's what I acquired. Like I said, probably just a little bit over $100 with some horse trading and some other things going on there. But certainly a lot of projects, certainly a lot of opportunity to get almost every one of these reels back. I didn't see, other than knowing the parts availability on this Level Line 50H, other than that one, all of these can go fishing again, and I will be working on them in the coming weeks. So I hope you've enjoyed all of the previews on this and learned a little bit about the way that I shopped at flea market that I was selling at. To all of the folks who came up to me during the flea market that are channel viewers, thank you. We got to exchange some nice conversations. We learned a lot and saw some beautiful work. George did some beautiful work. She does rod repair and rod customization. Did some beautiful work, and she was kind enough to show me some pictures behind that. So to all that I met, thank you again. To everybody, please stay safe, stay well, and stay watching. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.